Dr. Anthony Atala, an expert in tissue engineering, is a lifelong Trekkie. His groundbreaking work, which involves using printers to produce 3D human body parts, could have come straight out of a Roddenberry script. Using X-rays and scans, Dr. Atala builds a computer 3D reconstruction of a body part one layer at a time. Each layer is then physically printed using a mixture of a patient's own cells and biomaterial gel. This creates a 3D structure exactly like the organ it is replacing.
Growing a human cell was science fiction. And here we are today, not just growing human cells, but also printing tissues and organs. So 300 years from now, printing a body, or certainly major parts of a body, may be possible. We may even be looking at things beyond that.
Well, you could say the new generation of kitchen appliances is here. The Foodini is basically a 3D printer for, well, food. A company called Natural Machines created the printer that they say encourages home cooking, but doesn't replace it completely. Foodini helps people manage the difficult or time-consuming parts of cooking. The printer can apparently roll pasta dough, fill ravioli. All you have to do is prepare the fresh ingredients and load them into the capsules in the Foodini. The 3D printer then prints your selected recipe. Now, the Foodini doesn't actually cook the food, but it can get it ready, so all you have to do is basically throw it in the oven.
Researchers are using 3D printers that can print concrete to make replacements for parts of the Great Barrier Reef that have been damaged.
The Bank of South Africa has already shown interest in the 3D printed house being built in Amsterdam. They want to use the same technology to create cheap, efficient 3D printed houses for the poor. It's even feasible to build entire streets at a time.
At the moment, with the pace of growth in the megacities, the current construction techniques is not sufficient enough. And maybe that's why we also believe that 3D printing can actually make a big difference in 5, 10, 20 years' time.
People who make money by selling things that are all of a sudden easily copied with a 3D printer are going to be worried that people are going to be making unauthorized copies with those 3D printers. And I think one of the challenges for them is going to be, well, how do I react? Objects that are artistic objects, that are objects that you would hire an artist to make, those things are all going to be protected by copyright. But those objects that actually do things, that have a use besides just sort of entertaining or looking nice, a lot of those are going to fall outside of the scope of copyright. They might be protected by patent, but a lot of them won't be protected by any sort of intellectual property at all. And as a result of that, you can use them or improve upon them or build on them as much as you want, and no one can stop you. 3D printing right now is at its very beginnings. And so you don't have a lot of case law about everyday people making exact copies of physical objects, and certainly not a lot of case law about people being able to do that on a large scale.
Shapeways is an online 3D printing community and marketplace. Anyone in the world can upload their 3D model and we'll print it for you. And then also, if you decide you want to make it for sale, you can sell it and we'll produce it on demand for that customer wherever they are in the world. You can essentially bring a product to market with no risk. You don't have inventory anymore. You don't have to make sure that there's a market ready for your product. If you sell one, that's awesome. If you sell 10,000, then all of a sudden you have a passive income model, and that radically changes the economy.
The good thing, hopefully, is that the industries that are disrupted by 3D printing have the model of the music industry to maybe learn from. The music industry, when someone started copying things, decided the best thing to do was take their time and their money and invest it in suing everyone they could find and try and stop the progress of technology. That didn't work very well. And so the hope is that these creators, when they see this new technology, they capture some of the upside and they say, oh, wait, this can change my business for the better. And they do that. It's a hard thing to do, but the music industry has taught us that it may be the thing they have to do.